It's well documented that people think that online games are toxic. Rocket League certainly falls into that category. But the real question is, why are people toxic? Now, I am not a psychologist. I am a guy that's read a few books and I have a YouTube channel. But I do have some thoughts on this. Let's talk about why people are toxic and a few things that we can do about it. The most straightforward thought that I have about why people are toxic is, quite frankly, it's just easier. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about how a poverty consciousness will voluntarily take over a mind that is not occupied with a money consciousness. If you take out money for angry and happy, the same thing applies. If somebody is not being intentional about being good to their teammates, they are going to go the other way. They are going to be toxic. Being a kind and considerate teammate takes effort, it takes energy, it takes actual thought to do that. Not a lot of people think about that. If you're just playing with some random person on the internet, why bother? This is a competitive game. If someone feels that they can't win the game that they're actually playing, Rocket League, they're going to try to win some other game, which is the mental game, trying to tear somebody down. It's unfortunately a lot easier to look at the game like I win by tearing somebody else down, as opposed to trying to find a way where both I can win and the other person can win. The two easiest ways to do that are by beating them in Rocket League and trying to beat them by typing at them, or doing something really toxic. There's this really interesting concept that says what you think about or what you focus on is what you find. If I told you to close your eyes and think about a purple dog, what do you see? A purple dog. No matter what you're focusing on, even if it is something that you don't want, you're still going to see more of that thing. I think this directly relates to online games and how all of them think that their community is toxic, because it's something that they focus on. I do not focus on toxic players. When I have a toxic player in my game, I do not pay attention to them at all. And I don't run into that many toxic players. I think it's because of that. Our communities are inherently good. There are a lot of good, kind, nice people out there that just want to play a game and have a good time. So many people are stuck in this idea that their community is toxic, that they're expecting it and they're looking for it. A lot of people, because they're looking for it, are gearing themselves up for a fight whenever it happens. I guess I'd ask you, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on or thinking about all the time that Rocket League players are toxic? Because if you are, maybe focus on the people that you play with are good and they want to be a supportive teammate. Focus on the idea that you want to be a supportive teammate, that you want to be a good player, that you want to be a good person out in the community. Put that energy out there and attract more people like that. If somebody's having a bad game or trying to be toxic, then you can help them go the other way. Or you just ignore it instead of trying to fight back. More often than not, just letting it go will stop it then and there. In my experience, what toxic people are looking for is a fight. If nobody does anything, then it's just over. They're not getting the attention. They're not getting the rise from somebody. All there is left is to just exist. Move on to the next game where they get a rile out of somebody else. Earlier, I mentioned the idea that some people feel that for them to win, somebody else has to lose. This is a concept called win-lose. For somebody to win, somebody has to lose. This is like Rocket League, the game where there is a winner and a loser. However, some people take that into an emotion as well. If I feel good, somebody else has to feel bad. This is not the case. Even in a game where somebody wins and somebody loses, everybody can go away from that game feeling good. Losing is a part of Rocket League. And wouldn't it be great if everybody could just walk away from the game saying, good game, let's go on to the next one. If you win, you feel good about it and you get ready for the next game. That is a win-win situation. You congratulate everybody on the game and that's it. Next time you're in a game, think about how you can make it win-win. Lift people up, encourage them, compliment them. Even if they're on the other team, if they get a good shot, congratulate them. There's nothing wrong with that. We're playing a game. Compete at the highest level that you can. If you win at the end of the game, great. If you lose at the end of the game, great. Go on to the next one. And if there's somebody in your lobby that doesn't buy into that, if they want to try and tear you down, just let it go. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is be as nice as you can. That brings me to my last point. Toxic people are just toxic people. Their toxicity has nothing to do with you. They are going to treat every single game that way. Whenever something doesn't go their way, that is how they are going to respond. It doesn't have anything to do with you whatsoever. I say this for two reasons. One, don't feel bad about it. Yeah, it sucks when people say something toxic to you, but it doesn't have anything to do with you. It has everything to do with them just trying to tear you down. Second, don't respond. That's exactly what they're looking for. The best thing to do and the hardest thing to do is just ignore it. Know that this too shall pass. There's no way to win that game, and it's only going to make you feel worse. I have some good news and I have some bad news. Since this is a video and I can't ask you which you want, I'm going to give you the good news first. There is something that you can do about this. You can be nice to people while you're playing the game of Rocket League and whatever you're doing. Don't get sucked into toxicity. Don't feel like you have to fight back. I know that can be difficult at times. Take a deep breath, realize that you can be a better person, and just let it go and go on to the next game. The two things that have helped me the most in dealing with toxic people is just focusing on being kind and enjoying myself, making sure that my highest priority is having fun while I play Rocket League. And the second is knowing that it really doesn't have anything to do with me. They are going to just be mean no matter what. I can't talk them out of it. I can't encourage them. I mean, sometimes I can, and I try, but if they're going to keep going, they're going to keep going, and it has nothing to do with me. They're not being toxic to me. They're just a toxic person. Does that suck? Totally. And there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm not going to waste my time with it. And here's the bad news. Toxic people are out there. And if you want to play games online, if you really want to do anything on the planet Earth, you're going to run into them. The sooner you get used to it, the sooner you understand that that's something that you're going to have to deal with in games and life, the better off you're going to be. If you complain about it, if you avoid it, it's just going to keep on happening. If you find solutions, if you work with it, it gives you an opportunity to move past those things. So let's build a better community. Let's be nice. Let's have some fun.